I am Bill Allen. I'm the president of Pennsylvania Integrity Network. And what I want to go over tonight, basically, okay, since we don't have a speaker, is we are going over to clean up our agenda, first of all. Second of all, how are we going to work together? We have some new stuff going on, first of all, and they're in your packets. I believe I put them in there. Yes, I put in this here. This here our webmaster put together. Okay, is basically how to is part of how to raise funds, and it's Pennsylvania Integrity Network sponsorship package. Okay, and it's talking what you receive from each package. I'm going to try to market this here. Not going to try. I'm going to do it to businesses. Okay, parallel businesses. Patriot businesses, to start bringing a stream of income in, because the only income we got coming in is through our donations, okay? And for the work we planned on doing, there's registration fees when you go places, there's travel expenses, there's setting up tables, there's equipment we need. Like I talked with a webmaster, part of the stuff I asked him is having a big screen, a big TV screen. Even for a place like this, if we want to bring someone through Zoom to speak, we could hook that up and we could have them speak, okay? The other things, there's some other, like having a hotspot. When we go places and we're set up at a table, we have a hotspot to get them on our website immediately. We can be playing our website at these places where we set up tables, okay? It's important for growth if we're gonna grow as an organization. The other thing is you can go through that whole thing, and then he put together something I asked him for, and it's basically my objective is to launch a branded podcast to communicate Penn's mission, highlight current event, and educate voters. And if we have this access and we can do these things, we can set a podcast up, we can invite guests, we can get people on there. And you limit it to 30 to 40 minutes as a podcast. You can also run your people that are buying into this here, you can run their ads right on it, okay? It gives us visibility, it gives them visibility. But there's issues I wanted to talk about in the last week that I had no place to talk about. And it's all the stuff I've been going through with election integrity, what I'm learning, how can I get that information out? Because we are failing in our state. We just had Heather Honey put onto Trump's, under her, in one of the cabinet things, okay, to work on election integrity, and they boost, oh, she's one of ours. But yet, when it came time, it's appalling to me, because when it came time to pressure our Auditor General, okay, to get him to do an audit on the shore system with the Department of Motor Vehicle, where they are registering illegals to vote, okay? Not only giving driver's license, but voting them, we wanted a audit done. He promised to do it, and the minute we put pressure on that, she got upset with us. So is that the right person to be dealing with this stuff? I sat for 2 years on her calls. Really, I didn't see anything change in our state with what we were doing with election integrity. I've seen it get worse. I've seen our RNC in the state of Pennsylvania. What I've seen them do is basically accumulate more power and take we the people out of that power. All right? You heard it from Bill Backenberg when he ran, what it was like to run against the party. We do have a candidate that beat the party, okay? She ran without being endorsed. She ran against the party. Her name is Maria Batista. She's running for Superior Court. And we need to help get her pushed across. We need to basically get the vote out. How many people? It seems like everyone's asleep except certain people out there right now. Our state seems like it's asleep. How many people are helping, basically early vote? You got 4 of yous in the valley, basically, right, that are working now, okay? So when they got 4 events, only 1 person can be at an event because they got 4 others. So each of them got to be divided up. When we should be as groups supporting them efforts, we should know their calendar. That's how groups work together. We are setting up a new coalition through this group, through our webmaster. We are communicating with different Patriot groups. And right now, why did I bring the flyer? Yes, I'm helping a Patriot group out. But he sent me and asked me if I could get this flyer out to get people to the Berks County Patriot because Bill Backenberg's there. But also, Scott Pressler's there. He will be one of the speakers. We need, and everyone's saying, oh, we want to go to paper ballots, one-day voting. Yes, that's a vision. But are we there yet? If not, we got to do this here. We got to get people, the low propensity voters, doing the mail-in voting. To that changes. But people want to say, oh, well, we want this. If we're going to push this, are we saying we're wrong? No, we're not wrong, but it hasn't happened yet. First of all, we got to take our state back, and then we got to get candidates that are going to represent we the people. All right? We can't have the state choosing our candidates, our GOP. The problem is they're going in a total direction where they're going to choose our candidates and you're not going to have primaries in the long run. They're going to give you your candidates except in the local areas, but then your local GOPs are going to choose them instead. And where are we going to make the decision? Are we the people? Where's the education on who these candidates are? Where's the information? It's a takeover by the GOP rhinos. We have to be aware of this stuff, and we got to be prepared to work together as Patriot groups, all of us. No exceptions. There can be no exceptions in this here manner. We need to understand that, folks, if we're going to win. And that's why we're looking at 9 counties right now where I feel the population zone of Pennsylvania is at, that we can flip our state red. Lehigh County's one of them, or Banton County's one of them. Where at, though? Where are we going to flip? In the cities. We need to work in the cities. We need to go to the community. We need to do town halls, which I've been working on. Eddie, I've been working with Eddie, and I've been talking to Sam about this. I'm getting in the community, talking with the Hispanic communities, okay? Talking with the churches. The churches, we need to activate the churches. That means we got to be able to bring all the pastors together. We need them meeting Pastor Whitney, who's one of our people now, who's willing to do these here, how to apply the constitutions. I'm helping him find a place in the valley to do his classes, some online, some in person. So, but when we're doing this, we need to fill these things up. We need to make sure there's enough people there that are learning so they can get, and then we need to find out who are the business leaders in the Lehigh Valley we can bring together, do town halls with them, do business roundtable discussion. Mackenzie's willing to come in if we do them on weekends when he's home and basically speak to them what the federal government can do to assist small businesses. All right? What's in the bill that assists small business? What can they apply for? Because a lot of people don't know what they call it the big beautiful bill is about. They don't know what tax cuts they get, and there's false information out there. We need to clear that up. That's our responsibility as Patriot groups. Letting people know that I'm going to receive an extra 12 grand on my tax this year. That's not taxed because I'm retired. My wife and I are receiving $24,000 plus on top. They're taking it up to $31,000 on the regular one. So that's a cumulative there. So I am not going to be taxed on about $50,000 of our income. A lot of people don't realize that. He's giving us tax breaks in there. What else are they doing? They are fighting to make sure there's school choice, which is important in what we're doing. To basically tell the indoctrination center they're going to lose funding. Your funding's going to be transferred over to school choice. That's going to make a difference. Working with Moms for Liberty is important. These are all important areas. They do certain stuff real well. We got to work with them. We got to support their events. So what we want to do is set up this coalition. We want to be able to build a network where we can have a calendar on everyone's events up there, so we can get people participating. We need ground people. We need people out there. So what do we got to do? We got to build a money base so we can pay our people like the Democrats do for knocking doors. They pay their people. They're getting the dark money, but we need to set up a super PAC that can fund this type of stuff. It takes money to win. And that's the direction we're going in. And the issue that we're going to be doing is we're going to work with any group willing to work with us and be part of a coalition of the willing. We are setting, which I did work in Philadelphia, we're putting We One Unity Initiative. They're going to handle our calendar of events. We're going to get activity back in the city of Philadelphia. We got close to 40% of Republicans in the city now. We didn't have that before. All right? We can get that in Allentown. If we do that in Allentown, Bethel, and Easton, guess what? Our state is flipped red. We are now a red state. Okay? We can take some state legislature seats back. We can take a couple more senator seats back. But we got to make sure they are, as she wants to say, MAGA candidates. Making America great, making Pennsylvania great again, making your local cities great again, making them a community. How do you bring community? You get the churches back involved. Why are schools taking the responsibility of churches? Go into Parkland, and you know it. What do they brag about? Oh, the clothing they give out, the food they give out, right?
A lot of it.
They're taking the responsibilities away from the churches. They're getting you away from the churches, basically, and saying, we're going to do this, get your students indoctrinated in this, but there's no God in that. They're removing the presence of God. People need to know this has been an attack on our country for over 60 years, removing God from our country. So that means we got to activate the churches, bring them together, bring the church leaders together, do town halls with them, go over this sheet with them that I put out, okay? Pastors don't know what they can do, all right? This lays it out. The membership don't know what they can do. This lays it out. So when you get that you can't do a voter registration in the church, yes you can, it says it right here. Pastors don't even realize that anymore. So we got to revitalize the community centers. The community centers, when I grew up, were the churches. There was another one called bar rooms, okay? But I'm telling you, that's where people hung out. They hung out. We used to kid about where I come from, Palmerton. There's a bar in the church on every corner. All right? But there's a reason people congregated in these places, okay? They congregated, and the churches were outside the church. They were doing work within the cities. They were setting up things to help the community. They were dialoguing on responsibility of being part of a church. We've lost that. It's time we get back out in the churches, bring them back involved in what. That's why on the 17th, I'm zooming this group in, which is important to get as many people there as possible. They are a Christian-based organization, yes, but they're activating the black robe pastors. And they got a plan of action. They're going to go over that with us, okay? It's going to be done on Zoom. We're going to have them on the TV screen. We're going to be able to do a Q&A with them. We're going to get information that we can disseminate amongst our people. And we'll have a recording we can send around to all the groups so they have access to that. We need to organize. We need to be together in this. And if you're knocking on doors, we need to know when you're knocking on doors. If we can get people there, even if it's 1 or 2 extra boots on the ground, it's going to be helpful to register people to vote. It's going to be helpful to talk with people about the issues. The more people we get doing this stuff, the more successful we're going to be. And as we set up this new coalition, it's going to be of the willing, but it's going to be finding out what each group does best. Why do we need to, if they're doing this great, we need to be partner with them instead. We need to be partner with that group and work with that group and be able to bring that into our group to be successful. We don't have to do all the work, folks. And that's what I learned from what we do. We don't have to do all the work. But we need to do what we do best, contribute to what they do best, and join forces together if we're going to win this in the long run. We got to stop being competitive against one another. We need to have blessings on all patriot groups that are willing to do the work. We need to cooperate with them. If they're doing a big event, we need to push their event. We need to attend their event. We need to table at their event. okay? We need to have our screen up at our table. See, these are the things that will make us successful and bring more people to us and to them. We need to help each group grow. We need to activate the community. All right, that's our responsibility. So I wanted to go over that tonight before we go over our agenda, okay? And clean this up. But I want to talk a little bit as an introductory on what we're going over tonight, okay? It's all in the packet. You can see the work I'm doing. You can see that the work our webmaster's done for us, okay? And you know, you can see that, you know, this is important stuff for us to grow. I did a press release. It's in there, okay? I put it out to the one paper. I'm waiting for the Morning Call to contact me. And it basically, it's a statement on the Allentown City Council arrest. The Pennsylvania Integrity Network condemns the alleged behavior and actions of Lehigh County Democratic Commissioner Zachary Cole Borgi, charged in multiple state drug trafficking rings spanning Pennsylvania, New York, Illinois, and Wisconsin. Law enforcement seized over 2,000 pounds of marijuana, cocaine, MDMA pills, more than 100,000 in cash, and at least 25 firearms, including semi-automatic and ghost guns. This represents an unacceptable action from the elected official. Any city commissioner entrusted to represent the people was instead allegedly tied to an organized crime operation. This is exactly why voters must be vigilant. We must know who we are voting for, and with transparency before and after they are elected to a position of critical decision-making, positions of power. At Pennsylvania Integrity Network, our mission is to expose corruption, reveal the truth, and educate citizens on current issues which affect the citizenry. Incidents like this prove our work is so important. We cannot allow corrupt or criminal individuals to slip into office unchecked. It falls on us, the voters, to demand accountability and to make sure those we elect uphold the law and serve with integrity. We will continue to shine a light on corruption and fight to restore trust in government. The people of Pennsylvania deserve leaders who honor their oath and stand for citizens, not criminals exploiting the public trust, is what I put out, okay? So I wanted you to know Nathan helped me with this. I had my wife do a little bit on it, okay? And then Beverly told me I need to put a ledge in there, okay? All right, so I did that. It's almost word by word what Nathan put together, except a few changes, okay? That we went through it. So with other people's eyes, we made sure it was right before I would release this to anyone. I'll wait for the Morning Call reporter to get back with me. If not, I'm going to walk it down to the Morning Call and tell them, here's a press release, and I want this put into the paper as a press release. I need to call up the radio station on this, send this to him, and get that on their radio station.
Here's Bobby Gunther.
Yeah, the Bobby Gunther Raw. That needs to be on there. So I'm going to send it to him.
On the website?
Huh?
Did you also put it on our website?
Yeah, we can put that on our website too, okay? So it's out there. People need to understand is we are entrusted as groups, yes, Patriot Group, to expose this corruption. The city people need to understand when they vote for someone like this is what they're bringing in. The Democratic Party stands for protecting criminals today, if you take note. And if you go against them, they're coming after you. They're going to arrest you for stupid stuff. They'll nail you for jaywalking or anything. They'll watch you. They'll try to expose you as the problem instead. They're going to try to deflect. What are they trying to deflect right now? Is this here. They're trying to deflect it. They went after McKenzie, okay, and tried to contribute to him having a known criminal with him, okay? All right? And they went after McKenzie and the one guy that's running for the commissioner position. And that happened with, who's the guy's name now? That's
Right, Josh Siegel.
Josh Siegel put that out, okay? Dirty pool, dirty action to deflect from what's really going on in the city and in this county, okay? He's going after McKenzie and the guy that's running for that position. That's the difference. Dirty pool, dirty act. We need to reveal that and we need it out there. McKenzie had nothing to do with this. He's working for you as your congressman, and he's doing a great job. I met with him 3 times in the last week, okay? I had a private meeting in here with the young guy with his program. We sat here, we went over that. He's getting him attention, okay? And then I had another meeting with him, and then I went to an event of his, and I went to another event of his. So I've been with him 4 times in the last week. And every time I'm with him, I talk to him about our issues. I'm setting up a basic a trip to DC for our group. We're going to go down there on a congressional tour. I'm working for the details, what it's going to cost us to rent a vehicle if we need to rent a vehicle, okay? And go down there as a group and do a congressional. They've agreed to do that for us, okay? So Pennsylvania Integrity Network will be going as a group on a congressional tour. As soon as I get all the details, I'll get that out to you. But we are working together to make sure we're successful and we can change the landscape of the Lehigh Valley here. We can make sure that we flip red, but it's going to be the type of red that's going to be accountable to we the people. That's what we're working towards. Not beholden to the party and vote the way the party wants them, but vote the way your community needs them to vote, not the party itself who might be selling us out. So I'm going to thank you. And we're going to get to our agenda now.